All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us this evening. We're pleased to have you here and to be chatting a little bit more about our Brown Experiential Education Program. My name is Dan Murphy. I am the Digital Communications Specialist here with the Division of Brown Pre-College and Undergraduate Studies. So before we begin, I just want to go over a brief agenda for the session today so you kind of understand what you're about to see. I'm going to do a very brief overview of Brown Pre-College, and I mean very brief. A little bit about how to apply. I will then introduce our guest speaker today to talk about our B program, and then we will conclude with a live Q&A. So if you have any questions throughout the session, please use the Q&A chat function below to submit any of those questions. We will be monitoring them, and then when we get to the end of the session, we'll start answering those for you. This session should last about 30 minutes or so, and it will be recorded. So if you are here and you missed something or you misheard something, this will be recorded and posted on our YouTube page within the next week. And then I also want to bring your attention to, if you need closed captioning throughout the session, you can click on the little CC closed captioning button at the bottom of your screen, and that will do real-time closed captioning for you. So let's begin. So just a reminder, again, as your questions come to you throughout the evening and throughout the presentation, please feel free to submit them using the Q&A chat function. Submit them at any time, and we will try our very hardest to get to as many as we can. If we don't get to your type of question, we will definitely have your information at the end for you to reach out to us to get that answer after the session. And then lastly, I always like to remind people that everything that we're going over this evening is going to be on our website and is currently on our website. So if you miss anything or you want to learn more, definitely head to our website, and you can head to the Brown Experiential Education portion of the website to find more information as well. So let's begin. So a very brief overview of Brown Pre-College. So each year we welcome more than 6,000 high school students who choose to spend most of part of their summer with us, exploring over 300 plus courses that reflect the open curriculum here at Brown University. We did just release our course catalog yesterday. So if you want to see the most up-to-date, head on over there. We do have over 300 courses this year. The Brown Pre-College experience replicates the freedom and responsibility of the college experience. So you'll be balancing the challenge of college level academics with enriching, social activities that are available wherever you choose to study. And that includes our Brown Experiential Education Program. So tonight we're going to talk about specifically our Brown Experiential Education. Sorry, tongue twister sometimes. And we will get to that in just 1 minute. So regardless of which program you're interested in, the first step in your pre-college experience is going to be completing our application. Our application is designed to mirror the common application that many colleges and universities use. And so that application process will actually help prepare you for that process, including adding your transcripts and thinking through and crafting an essay based on a unique writing prompt. Our 2023 application is now open. It just opened yesterday. So if you have not started it, you can head to our website and click apply at the very top, and it'll walk you through exactly what to do. The admission deadline to complete the application is May 12th, but as you are about to hear, our Brown Experiential Education, or B program, tends to fill up pretty quickly. So we do encourage you, if you're interested in any of these programs, to apply sooner rather than later. Our admissions decisions are on a rolling basis. This means that you will receive a decision via email, usually within 2 to 3 weeks. And then once you receive your admissions decision, you will be able to enroll in any course that we offer as long as you are eligible for that. Do know, again, that courses do fill quickly, so definitely encourage you to apply sooner rather than later. And then if you go to our website and click on apply at the very top, you will find an application checklist. You'll be able to see your essay prompts, grade requirements, and everything that you need to have set and ready before you apply. So that's a little bit about Brown Pre-College as a whole. So next, let's get right into our B program. So I am excited to introduce Rosario Navarro, our Assistant Dean for Pre-College Experiential and Language Programs. And she's joining us this evening to talk a little bit about the B programs. Hi, Rosario.
Hi, Dan. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'd love to talk about the B programs and really particularly happy given that last year was our first year back after having a pause due to the pandemic, and all the programs were a huge success, and it was so nice to see students out and about engaging with our programs again. So again, thank you for joining us, and I look forward to sharing more as the conversation gets started.
Great, thanks, Rosario. So as we chat today, we're going to have some photos up of the program, so there won't really be any text up here per se, but we do have lots of program photos to share with you. So Rosario, let's just start off. Tell us a little bit about the B program, like what is different about the B program, and why do students choose this option of studying with Brown Pre-College?
Sure. So what makes these programs stand apart from other offerings, I would say, is that they're experiential in nature. They really do offer opportunities for students to be fully immersed in the location of their program. And our curriculum is designed to leverage the site to enhance the social and educational experience that our students have. This means that you are surrounded by what you're learning and get an opportunity to actively engage with the material. The B programs reflect Brown's institutional values in our approach to teaching and learning, particularly Brown's value of offering students a multidisciplinary experience and inquiry into particular disciplines. So that's something that is reflected in our programs, albeit all around the world or in different parts of the United States. Another benefit to B is that we limit the experience to small groups of students. So the cohort size does not exceed 24, which I think is what Dan was alluding to in terms of the deadline might be May 12th. However, these programs, because they're so small, we cap them at 24. They fill up more quickly. But this group size really allows us to maximize engagement within the group and to ensure that students are supported and fully immersed in the content. Rome, Berlin, and Segovia are 2-week programs, while Washington, D.C. is 1 week. Students will be enrolled in 3 courses in Segovia, and then for Rome and Berlin, there's 2 courses and 1 course for Washington, D.C. And Berlin is a new program, and actually the thought of this program or the development of this program began well before COVID and then paused due to the pandemic. So I am so excited that we are able to introduce this this new offering within our B programs. What I do want to elaborate upon just briefly is that the number of courses for each site are intended to build upon one another, in that, for example, with Segovia, you do have 3 courses. One is international relations, but then you have Spanish language, culture, and language. So it is the courses are meant to reflect the full experience for each of these sites.
Great. Thank you. I did not realize Berlin has been in the works for a while, but Berlin is definitely sounds like a fascinating program to me. Rosario and I have talked about this, but I think Berlin sounds like a fantastic opportunity. So Rosario, can you talk a little bit more about each location and like what people would be doing and or learning at each of the different locations that we have?
Sure. So let's start with Berlin, and that's the actual image that you have here of the needle. And the focus of this program is history, culture, and global policy, but really the city of Berlin is known for really honoring its complex history. And and students will really will be able to explore and feel the history behind Berlin, post-war, the World Wars. And I think it's important to note that here students will study the topography of Berlin while also learning about the culture and language and how Berlin even came to be. And the significance of Berlin in terms of the global economy. With Rome, it's history, language, and culture. In this program, this picture, actually, this image that you have right here, students spend a lot of time, actually most of their time, and I should say that goes, and that's true for all the programs, walking out and about, exploring the city. The classroom is really the city. And so for Rome, you're studying, you're learning about the many layers of Rome and how Rome, what came to be, by exploring the city and the many sites that are integral to that experience. Language is also a big component, as that will be one of the courses, but there's no requirement, so no fear there. But it's an integral part of the program. In Segovia, you'll be students will examine language and culture, Spanish language and culture, as well as international relations. Again, this just reflects the Brown interdisciplinary way. This is a picture of Segovia right now, and it's the most beautiful site that you can imagine. It's just like nestled away in the city of Segovia, and I can't say enough about it. And then Washington, D.C., it has been a long-standing program for us. Last year, we didn't offer it, but this year we're running it, and we reconceptualized it in that we're trying to ensure that students who are visiting the nation's capital have 2 points of entry, or based on their interests, which one would be the field of medicine, and then humanities. And I'll speak more to that later on. And that one's unique in that it's a 1-week program, and there's 2 courses, so students would choose one of 2.
Great. Thank you. So you talked a little bit about the experience and like what the academic component is of these programs. So I think people might be also interested in what will the student life experience be like during the program? Like what can students expect to do while they're in the program, potentially outside of the class experience? Sure.
So students can expect to be in the classroom, or not a traditional classroom, but let's say from like 9 to 3 or 4 p.m. And then in the afternoon,
Rosario, you're breaking up. What? Hold on one moment. Rosario is breaking up. So while Rosario takes care of, oh, are you back, Rosario?
I hope I'm back. Is that
you're
okay?
Back.
Sorry,
Yeah.
for those of you who are not in Rhode Island, it's a really rainy night in Rhode Island, so I'm not sure if the weather is compromising my connection. So as I was saying, and I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, I'm not sure exactly where I cut off, that the students are in class 9 to 3, and then come 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon, the idea is that they're immersed in the cultural components of the program, such as this image right here, where the students, this is the Segovia cohort in 2022, so just this past summer, they take a paella making class, and
Oh boy. Broke up again. While she works on that, so I can kind of go off of a little bit of what she was talking about. So with Segovia, you know, they're being immersed in the program while they're doing this. They're doing site visits, they're learning different things. And so this is an example of a paella making class from Segovia this summer. Oh, are you back, Rosario?
I think I'm back. I think I'm
Yes.
back. Okay, good. And I'm sorry if it cuts off again, Dan, take it over. But so we just talked about Segovia, and then a little bit about Rome is as part of the Italian course, for example, students participate in a scavenger hunt that provides them with the opportunity to practice Italian while ordering at local eateries. That's just as an example, or taking public transportation and being able to navigate all of that in Italian. In the case for Berlin program, students will explore Berlin's topography and political landscape. Students visit Berlin's neighborhoods and examine the ways in which the city reflects its complicated history, rich and complicated history. And then in DC, students will explore the nation's capital through the lens of humanities or medicine, and those students who are enrolled in presenting the past, how museums shape our shared stories, those students will delve into the current trends in the museum practice, including curating, collecting, exhibition design, and interpretation, but it's really meant to offer students an opportunity to challenge their own thinking about history and how the narratives are constructed. And then in these ancient remedies, the second course option is ancient remedies to modern medicine. And here students explore advancements in the field of medicine through lab work and visits to key sites such as the National Museum of Health and Medicine. Really, that's intended to offer an opportunity
Rosario's internet does not seem to be very good tonight. So going off of what she was saying as well is that in general, I think something to also know is that students, you are in a cohort when you're in these programs. That includes having professional staff members with you. And so during the entirety of the program, you will have professional staff with you, like escorting you places and being with you and present throughout the program. Sorry, I finished for
that was great.
Sorry.
No, that was great. It keeps logging me on and off, so I apologize.
No. Well, I appreciate you sharing that. So can you talk, I know a common question we get, Rosario, is about language requirements and fluency for some of these programs. So can you speak a little bit more about that for our international offerings?
Yeah, so with Rome, and so that's a great question, and it's a question that we're often asked, but not to worry, for Rome and Berlin, no language is required, no previous
All right. She's broken again, so I can answer this one. I apologize for the concerns.
Italian or German is required.
You broke out during all of that.
Okay, during all of it.
No, it's okay. Do you want, I can answer it real quick if you want.
Yeah, please, just to make sure that they hear it.
Yeah. So Rome does not require Italian proficiency. The courses, though, and the experiences are structured so that students can learn Italian organically throughout the day. And they do like some of those organic experiences, like going to museums, ordering gelato, things like that, and using conversational Italian. But you're not required to have Italian proficiency. And Berlin is the same way. Berlin does not require German proficiency. Rather, students will learn some basic key German words and phrases throughout their time while they're there. And then lastly, Segovia is the one that does require at least 3 years of Spanish language instruction. One of the courses, as Rosario mentioned, will be Spanish language learning, but you are required to have at least 3 years. Some courses are taught in Spanish, and we encourage students to practice their Spanish speaking skills on site. So,
thank you, Dan.
Yeah. Let's see if having your camera off helps with some of it. So the last question I have for you before we go into the Q&A is, can you talk just a little bit about like the logistics of the program, like accommodations, meals, travel arrangements?
Okay, sure. So the program fee, just to start, the program fee includes accommodations, meals, and all related site visits. Flights, however, are not included. Flights are arranged by families, so the students are responsible for booking their flights. And once the program is confirmed, we will send a confirmation email saying, program confirmed, go ahead and purchase your tickets and or purchase your flights. And I think an important piece of that is that we will designate arrival day and departure day in slotted times, like a window of time where you would arrive or depart. More information to come. We don't need to dive too deep into that. Staff meets students at the airport in the arrivals area at the stated arrival date and time window. Programs are confirmed by the end of March, in part because they fill so quickly that we're able to do that promptly by the end of March, so that other subsequent planning can take place, such as flights. In most cases, earlier programs reach capacity earlier in the enrollment period, which is what I just mentioned. Once programs are confirmed, students receive a student handbook outlining program details, including information about the pre-departure orientation. So we offer a pre-departure orientation for each program, similar to this, where we would have an opportunity to get to know for you to get to know us and answer any other questions specific to each program.
Great. So that is all that we have for the session. So we're going to transition now to the live Q&A. So if you haven't done so already, feel free to submit some questions through the Q&A chat function, and we'll try to get to as many as we possibly can. So let's see. So one question we do get, and I can take this one, Rosario, is when I am applying to Brown Pre-College, am I applying to Brown Pre-College as a whole, or am I applying to the program? So this is a common question and a great question. You are applying to the Brown Pre-College program as a whole. Once you receive a notification or a decision that you've been admitted, you would then go in, and if you are eligible and if the B program, for example, is available, you would then register or enroll in that specific program, and then you would be all set. So that's just an important thing to note, is that once you are admitted to Brown Pre-College, you then need to go to that second step of actually then enrolling for that program if it's available and you're eligible. Another one, I can take this one as well, is how do I confirm my spot in the program if I'm accepted? So similarly, once you've been admitted, you would enroll in that program. Once you enroll and you pay your deposit, you have secured your spot in the program. Where can we find program costs? So if you actually head to our website, at the very top, you should see costs and aid. And there you'll see a detailed breakdown of all of our programs and all of the B programs as well, and their associated costs with them. Let's see. Rosario, could you just very briefly refresh us on what were the language fluency requirements again?
There are no requirements for Rome or Berlin, so no previous German or Italian required. 3 years of Spanish is required for the Segovia program.
Great, thank you. Let's see. Next one, Rosario, I'm going to ask this one for you. So are rooms singles or shared? And if shared, can students request a roommate?
So most are doubles, so they're shared, and you are able to request a roommate.
Great.
and we will do our best. So each one would have to request each other.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
And are rooms air conditioned?
In Rome and in Segovia and Berlin, they are not. In DC, they are. There's air conditioning, however, in all the academic and common spaces, just not in the rooms.
Gotcha. Great, thank you. So you did mention this, but let's reiterate it. Rosario, when will families know if the program is confirmed, and when should they book travel?
No later, the programs will be confirmed no later than the end of March. And once the programs are confirmed, they will receive notification of the program being confirmed, and from there they can book their travel.
Great. I can take this one. Will scholarships be available, and are there international scholarships? So we do have scholarships that are available for domestic students. Currently at this time, we do not offer financial aid or scholarships to international students. And you can, after you apply to the program, you can fill out the financial aid application once you've completed your application with pre-college. Let's see. Rosario, I think this is relevant given the last few years in general. What happens if the program is canceled? For example, like let's say there's like a COVID issue or what have you, what would happen?
Well, we would most certainly communicate as soon as possible to families that the program's been canceled. And from there, we would issue a full refund to all of our students.
Gotcha. Great. I can take this one. What are the age requirements and the general eligibility for the programs? So for our B programs, students must meet the age requirement of being 16 years old by, I believe it's June 18th, 2023. And if you want to see more of that, if you head to our website and you go to the B program specifically, it outlines all of the eligibility requirements there as well, including the if there's any language requirement. Else. That looks like, what was the other question I just saw? A common question, and I can take this one as well, is will vaccinations be required, or are there any COVID-related policies students should be aware of? We are still finalizing and working on public health guidelines for the summer. It's still a little early. We hope that there aren't any issues. I think we're all a little bit tired out from the last few years with COVID, and so we're still finalizing those guidelines, and so those will be released in the next month or two, I believe. So keep an eye on our website, and as those are released, I believe we will communicate that with anyone who's been admitted to the programs. I missed a question somewhere. I'm trying to find where it is. Rosario, what are the application deadlines?
Dan, I would defer that to you, but the application deadline, I believe, is May 12th. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
And also it's contingent based on enrollment. So we're on a rolling basis. So some courses will fill up faster than others. And for B, they tend to reach capacity sooner. And I think we've said that previously.
Yeah. If you take nothing else away, it's that if you're really interested in B programs, definitely apply sooner rather than later. So, all right. So I want to be mindful of our time. So before you leave, we do have a few more information sessions coming up throughout the next month and a half. They will continue to be on Thursdays at this time. So next week, if you're interested in our Brown Environmental Leadership Lab, or BELL program, we'll be having an information session then. Learn more about Leadership Institute, STEM for rising 9th and 10th graders, language and context English, and then our STEM and CRE courses as well. So definitely feel free to join us at any of those. The links to register for those are available on our homepage. And then again, we ought to encourage everyone to follow us on social media. We are pretty active on social media, and we do try to provide more of a student perspective on the program and provide like day in life. And so if you haven't already, definitely follow us on there. And if there was any question that we did not get to this evening, definitely email us at precollege@brown.edu or give us a call. We have a fantastic team of program advisors who are the encyclopedias of Brown Pre-College. They will get back to you pretty quickly, and they can help you navigate like what program is best for you, enrollment, the application, whatever question you have, they can truly help you. So thank you again for joining us this evening. Thank you for dealing with some of our technical difficulties. Always fun on Zoom, especially in a rainstorm in Rhode Island. But we're happy that you have joined us. The application is open, so if you have not started that yet, we definitely encourage you to. So thank you again.
Thank you. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye, everyone.